Hello from sunny Portland. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this course and what I've learned and how it has impacted my leadership, both currently and as I go forward, as I graduate in a week and step into my first major vocational ministry role. I think that there are two aspects of my leadership that have been impacted by this class. First, who I am as a leader, and then second, how I lead. So one is very much internal and the other is external. And just learning the importance of both and the balance of both. I think, to start, who I am as a leader, we talked a lot about what it looks like to develop yourself as a leader, what it looks like to be a healthy and effective leader, and ways that we can continue to pursue that, both as we're just getting started out of school and for the rest of our lives when we're in these roles. And I think that this is important whether in the long run I'm in a full-time vocational ministry role, or even if someday I'm just volunteering at a church. This impacts either role, and whether it's a big leadership role or a small leadership role. These are really important things to understand about myself and about leadership. The first thing is just the importance of pursuing personal growth and personal health. This class really caused me to ask myself the question of what kind of leader do I want to be, and actually think through that in depth, at a really practical level and at a really personal level too. I think it's really important for us to know where we're at currently, and something that even my women's pastor talks about a lot in leadership development is creating checkpoints for yourself. Things that you always go back to, questions that you always ask yourself, ways that you always check yourself to see if you're still growing and you're still pursuing health and effective ministry. And I think that really goes hand in hand with the SMART goals that we talked about, of not just thinking theoretically, this is what kind of leader I want to be, so this is what it is, but it's actually like, this is the kind of leader that I want to be, so here are the things that I'm going to do, the things that I'm going to commit to, so that I can become that kind of leader and maintain that kind of leadership in my life. Some SMART goals, even that I have thought of for myself, are just even really basic things of ensuring that as I'm in school, a big thing is that I'm still spending a good amount of time in the Word just for my personal enrichment and not just for my education. And I think that that's really important too, that I'm still pursuing the Word, even stepping into leadership for myself and not just to prepare for teachings or whatever it may be. And so setting an actual amount of time that I'm going to spend just in my personal quiet times with the Lord, and having that in my calendar of this is the time that I'm going to do it for this long. And obviously that's flexible. I would hope that maybe I would even spend more time, and that will change as I go on. So that's just one example of a SMART goal that I've made. The second part of this is knowing where I want to go. So knowing where I am, knowing where I want to go, and having things in place to continue to grow and to continue to learn. So having resources, whether that be always reading books about leadership and about areas that you're passionate about, as well as podcasts and blogs, and having all of those resources. Also, a way that I see this being a good thing is having people in your life, having mentors, having other pastors, other people in leadership, whether they be over you or next to you, whatever it is, tapping into all of those resources, and ensuring that that is a normal thing that you're doing, that it's not just, I'll read books whenever, once a month. It's like I'm always pursuing growth. I'm always pursuing my personal and leadership development. That is something that stepping into spiritual leadership that I always want to be committed to always being teachable and always seeking to learn and to grow and to be better. And then finally, setting rhythms to do all of these things. I kind of talked about that even in my SMART plans or SMART goals. But having things implemented into my day-to-day life that encourage and push me to continue pursuing growth and health, and having real practical goals, long-term, short-term, all of it. The second part is how I lead, actually looking practically at what kind of leader I am externally, how people are perceiving my leadership. And we talked a lot about multipliers and diminishers, and that was a really good way to think about it. I have been, I think, very introspective in my leadership just because I've been in school for so long. This is my last class before graduation, and so I feel like a lot of my time and energy has been devoted to learning about being a leader and learning about all of these things so that I can go out and do them. So I haven't had as much time and energy to devote to actually practically doing them. And that's something I'm really excited about for after graduation, that not having to balance all of my schoolwork and my course load and doing ministry, that I can fully pour into all of those things. But obviously school has been an incredible gift, and I have been prepared for what I'm going to step into through it. But yeah, so this was really cool to get to even practically think through how I lead, and not just theoretical, but practically what I want that to look like and how I can be a multiplier wherever I go. So yeah, a multiplier, the way I see it, is someone who knows the importance of the team and all of the people that are around them. They're very much about engaging people in their genius or their strengths, and knowing that it's not all about them and their vision, but allowing people to question and challenge that, not being afraid of people questioning and challenging things, because they know the value of the collective. It's not just about you. It's not just about your vision. Whereas a diminisher says, this is the vision and this is how we're going to do it, and that's just how it is. And they may pretend to want to hear other people's input, but really it just goes in one ear and out the other. They don't make space for people to be involved in the vision. And I definitely always want to be a multiplier. I always want to, that's why I'm getting into leadership, is to grow and develop other people, and to ensure that they are being the best version of themselves that they can be, that they are living out of their identity and their calling, and that I am, as a leader, not just telling them what to do, but that I am involving them and making them better through my leadership and through the process of engaging with a vision or a mission. And this affects everything that I do. It affects how I take care of myself and how I develop myself as a leader, and it also affects how I actually lead. Being a multiplier is incredibly important to me, and sometimes it can be hard for me to put labels on things like that, to say I'm a multiplier or I'm a diminisher, but that book created a really good framework of understanding the two, and how I can practically do that and be a good leader. And that affects both my relationships with people in leadership, and also just how I facilitate meetings, how I interact with people that I'm working with and that I'm leading. And it just really affects everything that you do as a leader. This course has been really, really great. I'm glad that I did it my last semester, because it gave me the ability to take all of this theoretical knowledge that I've had about leadership and about ministry and put it all into actual practical, like, here are the steps that I'm going to take going forward. So it's been great. Thank you so much for being a part of this class and for teaching this class, and here's to the future.